Alright, hello, it's September 9th, 2019, almost 8 p.m., and welcome to the weather update. A lot of clouds around today, and there were even a few showers which were not predicted. You could see them here, actually over New Jersey. There were a couple of showers that popped up, and a couple of small ones over the Bronx looked like trying to get into the North Shore of Nassau County, but they kind of just broke up. So let's take a look at the current conditions outside right now, and we'll go ahead and first start with the Long Island observations to show you what it's like out there. Very cool, 70 degrees. Dew point is up to 62, so it's a little bit humid. Not really that dry today. Dew points were around 60, but with temperatures in the mid 70s and a breeze, it really was pretty comfortable outside on Long Island for the most part. However, we'll contrast what Long Island had with what New Jersey had, and we'll see if it was any better there. So 72 dew point is not available at Toms River, and it looks like the high temperature is also not available. It did get up to the highest I see here is 80. It was more humid there. Dew points in the mid 60s, so a little bit worse. No surprise. Looking at today's satellite image, you will see we had a good deal of clouds around today. Actually, not too many clouds right now, but there were a good deal of clouds around. It was in and out. Sometimes there was some sunnier periods. Sometimes there were some cloudy periods. Let's go to the National Hurricane Center right now and look at the latest with our tropical activity now. No more updates on Dorian. Dorian, I guess, is now just a regular low. But it's still going to bring, I'm going to be curious to see where that is when I look at the satellite a little bit. The MODIS, we'll look at that too. So we have Gabrielle. This is Tropical Storm Gabrielle. Winds have weakened to 50 miles an hour, and it's moving northeast to 21 miles an hour, and it's just moving, it's not going to affect anyone. It's just moving northeast. Probably could be another storm that could wind up impacting the Arctic, or we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then we have these three areas here. Disturbance 3, which they're not really saying anything's going to form out of that. We have Disturbance 1, a 20% chance of cyclone formation, and another disturbance with a 0% chance of cyclone formation. So let's go ahead and look at the models and see what we have we've already looked at these yesterday, but we'll look at them again. This is the 18Z GFS. You can see we got, unfortunately, the ridge, the dreaded warm Atlantic ridge trying to build back again. And unfortunately, you can see kind of a crappy pattern we're going to be in for a little while here with the ridge and stall front syndrome. And then we got to watch this. It seems like it's developing one of these tropical systems. And we'll have to actually, so I'll look at this and then we'll go pan further out. And it looks like, look at that, it has a really serious hurricane impacting Florida now. And this thing, if we looked at the run from earlier, I mean, this hurricane has been on this run for a while now, and this run it had it coming close to the east coast. So we're gonna have to really keep an eye on this. I'm not sure which storm it's developing, so let me go back to the 18Z, and we're gonna just pull this out a little more, because this is not a good pattern. When you have this pattern, when you got the ridge here, there's nothing to really stop these. We have to wait for a northwesterly or westerly flow to develop. But as long as you have a ridge here, the hurricanes aren't allowed to recurve out to sea, and they hit land, and that's the problem. So let me change this regions to the Western Atlantic or North Atlantic. So let's see which one it is forming. So it looks like it's forming one of these depressions. It looks like the one that's right now over the Lesser Antilles. It's forming that, even though the Hurricane Center doesn't think it's going to become something. It may eventually become something, and this would be bad for a lot of these islands again. Looks like it goes right over Puerto Rico, and then it forms another one. I'm telling you, we have very warm waters, and it's going to be a very active tropical season now, especially with El Nino gone, and you see that blocking ridge. That's the problem. When you have that ridge there, it doesn't allow the storms to recurve and go out to sea. It pushes them west toward the eastern seaboard, and depending on the placement of that ridge, you could have something that goes up the coast. So this is long in the distance, obviously, but it's something that needs to be watched. Let me go to the ICON model. I'm curious if the ICON model does anything with this system here. A little slow. Let's see if it does anything. It doesn't really do anything. So hopefully it's just the GFS being the GFS, and hopefully it's not correct. Let me look at the Euro for a minute and see if the Euro actually shows anything as well forming. Yep, it does. Right there. right there. This is a week from Thursday. It has something. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on it. Conditions are favorable for more tropical activity. This is going to be a problem. So let's go back to our neck of the woods and look at the GFS and see how we're going to be dealing with temperatures. So let me go to temperatures. Push this to today. Alright, so we'll go into tomorrow. So you'll see tomorrow temperatures sort of rebound a little bit into the mid-70s. Not that much, not that warm. It won't get hotter until Wednesday when we start getting into the mid-80s. Because we got that ridge, so we're getting the southwest flow and the heat and the humidity. Thursday, a front tries to come through now, so it's being a little quicker with the front and maybe bringing us some more relief. Friday, Saturday, we're in the mid-70s, but then it could heat up again by Sunday. I'm not going to go any further past then because we kind of did the long range on the last update yesterday. So let's go and look at the dew points, going back to Saturday, but you'll see the dew point's going to start coming up. It's going to be starting to feel a little more humid tomorrow, not tremendously. And then Wednesday, we'll start to see a lot more humidity. In fact, I kind of prefer to use the NAM for this. So let me go to the NAM. So I think the NAM's a little better with that. GFS is a little slow to bring up the humidity. So tomorrow you'll see the humidity increase. Actually, the NAM has us going into the mid-60s with dew points. So you should probably start to feel the humidity a little. And then for Wednesday, it'll really come up. Dew points will be near 70 with that south flow. And then here comes this front here. So we'll go back to GFS because the NAM doesn't go any further than that. And here comes that front. So sometime Thursday it comes through, and then you can see it kind of just gets hung up to the south and then moves right back at us again with another warm front. And then, yeah, look at this. We're back in the humidity again. This is the problem that we're seeing here, and just trying to get into the drier air. And if we pull out the whole country, you will see the issue here is that we have this humidity. Let me back this up here. We got the same thing with the ridge and the humidity in the east, basically east of the Rockies. Same problem that we have all summer long, and there's that tropical system. So the same problem that we have all summer long is that ridge, and just this pattern of the jet stream just wanting to basically go up here like this and just keep the humidity pumping because these oceans are so warm. So again, gets back to our region here, and whoops, that's Florida. Let's not look at Florida. Let's go to the northeast. And we'll go to sky cover. So, can we get any clear skies? That's the question. So let me go back. Let's see. Tomorrow, it's going to be a good amount of clouds around. Wednesday, good amount of clouds. As far as getting any nice skies, nope, not happening. Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday, or Sunday, it's going to be junky skies. Forget about getting nice blue skies. We may have to wait till next week. Maybe next Tuesday. Maybe we can finally get these clouds out of here. But you know, it's just this problem when you're in that southwest flow and you're playing with stalled fronts because of it. Alright, so we'll go back to the NAM now, and we'll look at the clouds on the NAM and see how the NAM is. Compare that with the GFS. You can see just a lot of clouds around, unfortunately. Maybe a little less clouds on Wednesday, but there'll still be cirrus around. It's not going to be a nice sky. So let me go and look at the precipitation here. Precipitation chances. Okay, so here is Tuesday. Not much rain going on. You see it's trying to form something, and it kind of just breaks it up. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. Not really big rain chances for storms. Probably the next chance for storms will be more as we get toward Thursday. As it gets a little hotter and that cold front gets closer, it could be a focal point for some thunderstorms. There are a couple of articles that I want to put in the description of this video, and one of them has to do with this that I forgot to mention. This happened back in August. Lightning strikes near the North Pole, which is very unusual. There should not be thunderstorms in the Arctic, but yet here we go. So this is all part of the climate emergency we are in. And then this happened too the other night. 2,200 lightning strikes electrify western Washington skies. There were some severe thunderstorms, and they caused a lot of power outages too. And then we have what's going on with the Bahamas, which when you look at these pictures, it's just devastating. Everything is destroyed, everything, and the Bahamas government hasn't done a damn thing to help these people. They haven't done much of anything, and that's why I stand by my comment the other night. Leaving people in harm's way, it is disgusting. All right, we're just going to look at some of this because I mean, it already feels like the media's forgotten about it, and this is, I mean, you're talking terrible situation here going on. So this is what it's complete destruction. So many people are homeless. There's so much rubble. It looks like a bomb went off, and there are probably thousands dead. And the Bahamas Islands should have been evacuated. Why the government of the Bahamas has not done an evacuation before the storm and left people in this mess. See, this is a good idea of what it looks like right now. That's what it looks like in the Bahamas. So they are literally carrying dead bodies out of these piles of rubble everywhere. Everywhere. This is an unprecedented disaster. And we are seeing a lot of climate refugees now, the survivors, trying to get the hell out of there because everything is destroyed. And our president won't let them in. So here we go. 70,000 people in the Bahamas are in need of food and shelter. And they were kicked off a ferry heading to Florida because they didn't have U.S. visas because Trump doesn't want to help them. This is what we're seeing. It's starting. We were told about mass migrations due to climate crisis, and these are climate refugees. And you're going to have conflicts. You're going to have wars, and Trump doesn't want to allow them into the country. As far as I'm concerned, if they don't have a criminal record, they should be allowed in. This is a serious problem. They're trying to come in the right way, but what's going to happen is a lot of them are probably going to try to get into the country illegally. Again, the Bahama government hasn't done it's a third world country, unfortunately. They get lots of tourism, but it's a third world country because they didn't evacuate those people. They should have been out of there. They should have been out of there. They should not have been left there in the path of this storm. They knew it was coming. The Bahama government should have evacuated them to the other islands that weren't impacted as bad, like Nassau. All right? They should have done. Look at this destruction. We are seeing exactly what people have been telling us, that we are going to see parts of the world become uninhabitable due to climate change. And now, places in the Bahamas, Freeport, Grand Bahama Island, Abaco, Great Abaco, are now uninhabitable because of climate change. So I'm going to leave, as I wrap up this video, I just want to show you some pictures of the sunset tonight because we had some nice sunset, but it is uninhabitable. Effects of climate change. Here you go. And we're told to get off the ferry heading to the United States. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I know. This man, Trump, is evil. He is evil. He doesn't have a heart at all. And unbelievable. What can I tell you? This is what's going on, and you're going to have wars, you're going to have conflicts because of climate change, and then you have people like Donald Trump that make it even worse. So I'll just show you some of the pictures of the really nice sunset we had tonight with some crepuscular rays. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it was quite pretty. As you could see, just really nice. We had like a deck of like clouds over us, and just really pretty stuff. So thank you for watching and have a good night.